Hey guys, it is Monday, which means I am back with another Monday market update for the urban Toronto real estate markets. So we're going to get started right away here. Jumping in, I'm going to look at the single family home market or the freehold home market for the urban Toronto area. So last week we saw 52 homes sold in the urban Toronto market, which is down slightly from the 59 sold 2 weeks ago. What this tells us is just that things are stabilizing out a bit. Usually as we get later in June, the market is slower, but this year we expect to see things have an uptick based on the fact that the spring market was really skipped due to the pandemic and state of emergency with COVID. Now, with those stats, the number of homes sold at or above asking on a percentage basis was about right in line with the week prior. We saw 33 of the 52 homes sold at or above the asking price, which does show that there is buyer confidence out there and people are willing to get into bidding wars for the property that is right for them. Okay, the average sale price jumped a bunch. It jumped to $2.1 million, but there's a big obvious reason. So as we only had a small sample size of homes sold with 52, which, on year over year numbers is, about 50%, the big thing that we saw was there was an $18 million sale. So there was only 52 sales and an $18 million sale. So that's bringing that average sale price into context for you. And that's why we saw the big jump from, $1.5 million, $1.6 million last week up to $2.1 million for the average sale price in the urban Toronto markets. The average or the sale to list price ratio was about 106%, which has fallen in line with what we've been seeing through about the last month of the pandemic. It just, without context, once again, if people are listing low and listing below market, of course, the sale price is going to be higher than the list price. So this ratio doesn't mean a ton without context, but it shows that there is enough buyer confidence for buyers to be willing to compete for homes. Okay? Now, the big difference here was, we saw a big range in terms of standard deviation from the sale price. So we saw as much as low as 84%, so a pretty big discount, 16% from list to something selling to 130% of ask, okay? So a big range there. Now, that deep discount that I know a lot of you guys have been waiting, unfortunately, that was on the $18 million sale, which was listed for $21 million. So, if you actually looked after that, you were more in the 93 to 94% range was the biggest dip from list price to sale price, okay? So you're still not seeing those huge deals unless you're in really the high dollar value market. And we saw 18 sales over $2 million, which also attributed to that high average sale price. That's the most we've seen in many weeks. We saw that $18 million sale, which really, pumped up the average numbers this week. Now, if we look at condos, so condos, we continue to see more and more transactions in the marketplace, but we're also seeing more and more listings in the marketplace. So last week we saw 94 condos sold, which is up from 87 week prior. Now, the one thing that was interesting to me is we also saw a lot more of those sales go at or above ask. We saw 45 of those 94 sales. So just about, almost 50%, 48% sold at or above ask. Whereas in previous weeks, we were seeing, somewhere around that 30 to 33, 35% mark selling at or above ask, which, we'd have to wait and see a couple weeks. Does that mean there's more buyer confidence, or does that mean more people are using the strategy with condos of listing below market and having people bid it up. But you have to have some confidence in the market as a seller to use that strategy. And that's what people have to understand here. Yes, it does take context and doesn't mean people were listing below, but for people to list below, they have to be confident in the market. Otherwise, they could get stuck, okay? Otherwise, they could get stuck listing low, not getting any offers, and it makes them look bad in the marketplace. All right, so the average sale price for condos was at $791,000, which was down from week prior. But the number that was up was the average, or was the sale to list price ratio, which was up to 102%. The standard deviation from the list price on the low end, we saw 93%. So you're still not seeing those big discounts, as the biggest discount was 7% below asking price. On the high end, we saw 130% of asking price. We saw 15 sales over $1 million and 2 sales over $2 million. So overall, we are seeing some health in the condo market, and it continues to pick up with more and more sales each week. So that's it for this week, and that's what's going on in the urban Toronto housing market. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out or comment below. Thank you. Stay safe. Cheers.